Hello everyone, welcome back to Money and Law with Nondumi Sonjanga. I say for those of you who are new to the channel, a very special warm welcome to you, and I do hope you stay on. Please subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified when there's new content out. But my videos don't constitute as legal advice or financial advice for that matter. So if you do need financial advice or legal advice, for financial advice, please consult with a financial planner or a financial advisor who's registered with the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. And for any legal advice, please make sure that you consult with a lawyer, right? So today we are discussing a legal topic, right? So I decided this case is actually quite interesting because it changes a lot of things for us in South Africa. Let us just take it out there and see what people think about it. So basically, I'm just going to lay the background so that you understand where I'm going with this. So in South Africa, if you are married legally, whether in commute of property, out of commute of property, or if you're married or if you're a partner in terms of, Civil Unions Act, so that's considered as a legal marriage, right? You have certain rights that are afforded to you. I'm not going to mention all marriages. There's also customary law marriage, so I'm not going to go into all of them. But basically, if you are legally married or you're in a legal partnership in terms of the Civil Unions Act, you have certain rights that are afforded to you. So the rights that we're talking about specifically today is claiming from your partner's or from your spouse's assets. So assets, in this case, I'm talking about the person's money when they are no longer there, their cars, their houses, share portfolios, because I know we invest, so, a lot of the things that the person has. So things that are in their estate. If you are married, you have, a legal claim. I'm not going to go into what you get if you are married in commute of property or out of commute of property. There's just a lot of differences. But the bottom line is that there are certain legal rights that are automatically afforded to you because you are married, right? But then we have people in South Africa, in fact, in this court case that I'm going to be discussing, they talked about I think about 3.2 million, if I'm not mistaken, people in South Africa in 2016 were staying together, not married, but they were in permanent life partnerships. Yeah, that's what it's called. So you can see that there's a lot of us who stay with people. We are not married. We have children with them. We support each other. Our families know each other. People know us in the community that we are together. We're just not married, right? So with those people, there is this misconception that when you are staying with a person for more than 6 months, then you are common law spouses. I just want to repeat that because I've said it before. There is no such thing. There is no common law spouse in South Africa. Right. With life partnerships, so permanent life partnerships, what you can claim is pensions. I know you can also claim from the road accident funds. There are a lot of other acts you can claim under. But when it comes to a person's assets that are in the person's estate, in law, you are not entitled to it, right? So this case that I'm discussing actually changes that, right? It changes it to say, okay, now these people also need protection similar to the people who are in marriages, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you briefly the facts of this case. So this case, this lady met this gentleman in 2014 and they started this relationship. A few months later, they moved in together. The lady was a domestic worker and they decided, it's okay, you know what, my love, one day we're going to start a cleaning company so that you can also just have your own thing. So this gentleman was supporting this lady. So they moved in together. He was supporting her. Buying groceries or household expenses. The lady was not contributing to the household in terms of money, right? She wasn't buying things, but she was supporting the household by obviously love and affection, companionship, just the fact that you are there supporting the person. It's also you supporting them. So the reciprocal duty to support a partner is, regardless of whether you are just bringing money to the table or you bring emotional support to the table. So in this case that I'm talking about, the lady was not doing anything financially, but she was being taken care of financially by the gentleman, and she was just providing what a woman provides in a relationship when they don't bring money to the table. But that's not the point. So they stayed together. The relationship was progressing. It was a good relationship, and unfortunately, the gentleman dies in 2016. Right. So when he dies, now the lady is left destitute because obviously, in terms of the law, you can't claim from the person's estate. So it means, I think he had about 10 million in his estate, and he had no children. He had not been married before. He had basically no one. He, in his will, had said his mother will get everything if he passes away. I think it's a will that he wrote before he even met this lady. Unfortunately, the mother had also passed away. So it meant this money right now, it goes depend in terms of the law who it goes to, right? Now this lady was staying with this gentleman. He's paying for everything in the house, paying, she's getting accommodation, getting groceries, everything that she needs. Excuse me. But now this guy is no longer here. The law is not protecting this lady because in terms of the law, if you're staying together, there's no automatic rights except for what I mentioned earlier, pension and stuff, right? So she approaches the High Court to say, listen, I was in a permanent life partnership with this guy, so I don't understand why I'm being discriminated against, because if I was married, I would have been afforded certain rights. And then the court says, okay, when they're still determining the matter, so the parties, so she had sued the executor of the estate and a lot of other people, the master of the High Court, so when she was claiming, they reached a settlement with the executor of the estate to say, okay, we're going to give you 3 million. So what she was claiming for was maintenance, number one, because there's an act in South Africa that provides for maintenance of surviving spouses. So she was saying, I'm also a surviving spouse. Give me some money to maintain myself because the person who was maintaining me is no longer here, right? And then she was also claiming to say, listen, in terms of interstate succession law, can I also get something now apart from maintenance? Can I get a share of this guy's assets? Because I mean, I'm as good as married to this guy, right? So before it even gets to a point where it's determined in court, the executor and the lady reach an agreement to say, okay, she's going to get 3 million. Because, okay, I'm content, I get 3 million. But at the end of the day, I still feel like women, I'm going to say women because she's a woman, are being discriminated against who are not in marriages compared to the ones who are in marriages. So I want to go to the Constitutional Court to appeal to say, listen, recognize people who are in permanent life partnerships. So she went to the Constitutional Court to appeal to say the law, the Interstate Succession Law, also the Maintenance of Surviving Spouses Act, need to also accommodate us as people who are in permanent life partnerships, my goodness, isn't this? So that's what happened. And then the court looked at the situation. They looked at a history of cases in South Africa relating to discrimination and marriages. I'm not going to go into all of those, but the bottom line, or the conclusion rather, was that they do feel like people in permanent life partnerships are being discriminated against because they're not afforded the same rights. Basically, they said, if I'm staying with this person as if I'm married to them, I'm almost as good as married to them. So why should other people be treated differently? They went back to old cases that we decided before, which said that people who are staying together can decide to marry. They have a choice. So why must you now impose certain legal obligations when they chose not to get married? Those rights are for people who decided to get married. So why should they also benefit? And then the judge looked at it to say, but that is not very progressive thinking, because at the end of the day, he actually specifically looked at women to say women in many instances don't really have much of a choice. Granted, there are some women who have choices. Like I know Oprah. Oprah decided, I am not marrying. I'm going to be in a permanent life partnership, right? That's a choice that she decided to make. But in certain instances, women don't have that choice. Number one, the male is supposed to be the one that proposes. So even if you want to get married, if he doesn't want to get married, you don't have much of a choice. And then another thing is that financially, most of the time, the male is usually the one that is stronger, and you are dependent on this person. And if they're saying they're not marrying you, you don't have much of a choice. And if you're dependent on them, you're gonna stay. In certain instances when women are independent, they're like, bye, or they go to marry me now. And if the guy says no, I'm not marrying you, they leave. But it's not all women who have that choice. So the judge stated that we don't all have the choice. So we must actually afford some level of protection to the people who don't really have much of a choice. So the conclusion of the case is that people who are not married, who are in permanent life partnerships, judge said that they are telling the legislature, to the people who make the law, to say, listen, I'm giving you until, I think, June 2023, June or July, I think it's June 2023. Go and change the law to accommodate permanent life partnerships, right? You are forced, basically. So the law has to change now to say, if you are staying with a person, you are in a reciprocal, or rather you have a reciprocal duty of support, even though you might not be bringing money to the table, but you bring emotional support, care, companionship on the table, then you can actually also get that same legal protection as people who are married. So you can claim in terms of the Maintenance of Surviving our Spouses Act, and also in terms of the Interstate Succession Act. Obviously, the law hasn't come into place yet. We're still going to see how it's going to look like. And another, issue, I think what you might also be thinking about is, how do you determine if a person is in a permanent life partnership? Because we could be staying together on and off, or we could be, should it be 3 years, 2 years? How do you determine it? It's not very clear, but there are things that they look at. They do look at the age of the parties, also the length of the relationship. Not to say that if the relationship is short, then it's not valid, because the case that I was talking about, they met in 2014, moved in together, relationship was going good, guy passed away in 2016. So it was not a very long time. But at the end of the day, she also got afforded the rights that a married person has. So there's a lot of things they look at. Do you stay together? Do you have children? If you don't have children, it doesn't mean you're excluded, but they just take into account a lot of things, right, to determine whether you're actually in a permanent life partnership. And in certain instances, people put each other in medical aids that will tell you that I'm serious about this person. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. So in South Africa, if you're in a permanent life partnership, you actually can have the same, well, not the same, but you can actually claim from your partner's estate if they pass away, and the law is going to come into effect. Well, not into effect, but it will come. We'll see it in 2023. We'll see what happens in 2023. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about with this case. But we do understand, especially women. I'm not excluding men by any means, but I know that women suffer a lot when a partner has passed away. You find the family coming in and claiming, the estate, and they are left with nothing because the law doesn't provide them that protection. So I think this is a step in the right direction. Although now, what happens to people who really didn't want to get married? Like, I also, as a woman, didn't want to get married to this guy, and now I pass away, and now he can claim. It's just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, then if you want to protect yourself, get into a contract with that partner, a domestic contract. In South Africa, we still don't have clear laws on domestic partnerships where you can write a proper contract, but you can, to say, listen, this is what governs our relationship. This is what you bring to the table. This is what I bring to the table. These are the rights we are affording each other in this relationship. And then if you want the person to benefit from your estate, put them in your will as well. And if you want to exclude them specifically, to say, no, I don't want them in my will. But the court is becoming progressive and looking at vulnerable people's issues, to say, this person has been with you all these years through thick and thin, and now the person has passed away, and now you've passed away, and they can't get anything. So I think, for me, even getting married, I feel like might be a better choice. If you're not gonna have much control, at least getting married, you can have control to say, out of community of property, if you don't want the person to get anything, right? So, but then go out there and get wheels to make sure that you protect the people that you love. Get into partnerships, partnership agreements if you are with a person and you want to protect them, or you actually don't want them to get anything. But just make sure that you consult with legal specialists regarding the state or the nature of your relationship, and make sure that you protect each other as partners. So yeah, I think this is a very interesting case, and sazokhala. color, because people are going to see that they have rights and they're going to want to exercise them. So yeah, please make sure that you protect yourself and consult with a lawyer, write an agreement, write a will, you know, and make sure that you know exactly what's going to happen to your assets should you no longer be around. And if you want to protect your loved ones, you know that they are protected. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to discuss with you today. Please leave the questions in the comments section, and yeah, I'll answer them. And I did say, Wuti, April is a special month for my channel because that is when it started. So probably in the upcoming video, we might have a giveaway. So please stay tuned, watch till the end on all videos that I post, especially in the month of April, because you don't know where the surprise is going to be. So yeah, and have a lovely day. And for those who are in KZN, please keep safe, and our prayers are with you guys and your families. And also in Johannesburg, please keep warm. Cheers. Bye.